What makes us us? Is it our bodies, or is it our consciousness or our souls? That is exactly what the 1995 anime film Ghost in the Shell wants to ask us. It was directed by Mamoru Oshii, but originally it was actually a manga that came out in, I believe, around 1989. And trust me, people, this anime actually has a lot to say, and I will be comparing it to the Scarlett Johansson live action version that just hit Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray that I will be reviewing right after this video for you guys. So Ghost in the Shell, 1995. Wow. I will just say right off the top, people, in 1995, I was not into anime, so I wasn't into this. I actually picked this up this year, and since I watched it the first time, I've actually watched it 4 times. 4 times for this review for you guys to really get a handle on what this anime was saying, because I have a feeling that it takes that much just to understand and comprehend what this movie actually wants you to think about and the philosophical ideas that it presents in front of you. We are in the future. The year is 2029, and technology, or cyborgs, have just meshed with our culture to such a point that you literally almost can't notice a difference. Almost every single person has some form of just mechanics or cyborg as a part of them. But does that mean that you are no longer you? Meaning, is your body what makes you you? Or is it your consciousness that makes you who you are? That only scratches the surface of what Ghost in the Shell asks you. And really, this is one of the most philosophical, thought-provoking experiences that you could ever have in such a short amount of time. This movie is only like an hour and 20 minutes, but still it crams so much into that hour and 20 minutes. It is just incredible. And I feel like that is one thing that people don't say enough. It's just that this movie is like an hour and 20 minutes long, not even an hour and a half. But it says so much more than a movie that could last 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours, because this movie is constantly throwing philosophical ideas at you. Our lead character is Major, and Major is pretty much more cyborg than human. A lot of her, or all of her, is literally, her body is all machine. And as a result of that, she is very curious about who she is and what makes her her. And she feels like she is on an existential journey to let her inner consciousness out and find a way to deal with the fact that she feels more cyborg than machine. She's on an existential journey because of the fact that she feels more cyborg than human. She struggles to find that human side of herself, and that'll play a lot into the end of the movie, and really all throughout. That is her journey to literally find herself. And she is part of a unit that is titled Section 9, and her partner, Bato, is still machine. He has machine in him, but he feels a lot more human than she does. He relates to humans a lot more than she does. And you see that dichotomy going back and forth with them, to the point where there's actually one scene in the movie where she is like stripping down naked because she has to, change her clothes, and she has no qualms about it because of the fact that she feels just so much more robotic than human. She doesn't care who looks at her. But Bato is more human and he's a lot more tepid about it, he looks away. He doesn't want to see her in that vein. And I feel like that scene just alone sets up so much about these characters and tells you so much that, like, literally so many live action movies just don't go into. It feels like every single scene that is in this anime has a specific purpose to make you think about a new idea. And there are just a litany of new ideas thrown at you all throughout this movie. And it is just crazy to the point where, like I said before, I felt like I needed to watch the movie again after the first time because I just... processing it is really tough. But it's really good. It's really good. This is one of my favorite animes, and this is coming from somebody that doesn't really like anime that much, but this one is something that I could really sink my teeth into because of all of the philosophical ideas that are behind it. And trust me, there are a lot. Now, there also is a virtual world in this film, and what that is a world that the characters in the film can plug into almost like their neck, and in that world they are a lot more powerful and they are stronger and they are able to do a lot more. And that is the start of something that I also want to talk about with this movie, is the fact that it came out in 1995, and really The Matrix took a lot from this, man, because the virtual world inside of Ghost in the Shell just reminds me of The Matrix so much. And now I see why everybody says The Matrix stole a lot from Ghost in the Shell. And it is just evident all over the screen. And one of the first images that we see is the digital green letters and numbers coming down the screen in Ghost in the Shell, just like The Matrix. And yeah, that movie took a lot from this. Now, within this virtual world lies the Puppet Master. He is our antagonist, and he is attacking and hacking people within this virtual world and causing a lot of problems for Section 9. And the relationship between the Puppet Master and Major really comes into play towards the later half of the movie, but in a really excellent way that leads to a very excellent conclusion that allows you to really think about it. And it is just very thought-provoking. Very thought-provoking. And this whole movie is extremely thought-provoking. I know I keep on saying that, but that's because it is true. This is one of the most thought-provoking experiences that you can experience on film, people. Really, it is. This world is so well realized that literally, people, the internet in this movie feels so advanced on what other movies that displayed the internet in 1995 when it first came out. It gets it so right for what it is today, and it is really cool to see. And just all of these cyborg enhancements that they have done to each other in this movie. I mean, you have this guy that can, like, turn his hands into almost like these, like, antennae, like almost like an octopus, kind of just like extend out his hands, and he can type out on his typewriter and everything like that. You can actually see that in the trailer of the film that's on YouTube. Man, all of this is just so well utilized and so well realized in this movie. Mamoru Oshii has really taken the anime and recreated it here and put his own spin on it, and that is why I would really have to give this a 9 out of 10. It's not a classic in my mind, but it is such a great and well realized vision. And, you know, I can't say enough about this movie. It is just A really great experience. And now to get into the video quality of the Blu-ray. I have the new Mondo edition of Ghost in the Shell right here in a cool slipcase that you can actually see. It's also a steelbook. And just to let people know right off the top, whatever version that you get of this Blu-ray, whether it's the Mondo version or whether it's the 20th anniversary version that came out, I believe, in, I think, 2014 or 2015, you're getting the same thing. So what did I think of the video quality of this disc? It is pretty good. I will say that it comes across a little soft. There aren't a lot of sharp edges here. I mean, this was made in 1995, and much of that is just taken from that 1995 print and given to you here. I don't see a lot of thought put into this to actually clean it up and make it sharper and a lot more vibrant. And I wish somebody had taken the time to actually do that, but what you saw in 1995 is very well preserved here. You still get this just lush and vibrant world that they have created here, and it comes across very well. There are parts of this that look more digital than animation, and that is because I believe they went into this and certain shots of this anime they recreated digitally, and sometimes it is kind of jarring to go from that digital animation back to the regular animation. And I will just say that right off the top, sometimes that doesn't fit. It's not as seamless as I would like to see it to be. The video quality here is not bad, but it is not that great either. That is really just kind of in the middle, and that is kind of disappointing because of the fact that this movie deserves a better transfer than this, because, I mean, it's such a great movie that why wouldn't somebody spend the time to give it an even better transfer, because of the fact that this movie is so well perceived and so well loved, even from back in 1995. People have always loved this movie, and I don't understand how careless certain elements have been slapped together here. And for that, I'm going to have to give this a 6, and that is unfortunate because I really wanted a better transfer here. But next, we will talk about the audio, and really, I have something interesting to talk to you guys about there. So the audio of Ghost in the Shell. You know, this one's a little weird. This is very much for American audiences, people. If you are a fan of watching your anime in regular Japanese with American subtitles, you will not get a 5.1 audio mix here. Only 2.1. And if you can deal with that, then it's fine. It's perfectly serviceable. But if you are like me and you want a little more and you don't see why you can't listen to the original mix of this movie in 5.1, guess what? It's going to be kind of lackluster. I prefer to watch it in Japanese with English subtitles, but I find myself more often than not watching this in the English DTS HD 5.1 mix just because I like my surround mixes with my surrounds, and it's a lot more immersive in that way. And I just feel like we kind of got screwed in that department. And that goes for every single release of this. It's not just for the Mondo version. As for the DTS HD 5.1, you know, it's a damn good mix. There is great speaker separation. It's very dynamic, and for a movie that was never mixed in 5.1, that at least initially, here they have recreated this and revamped this to be a lot more immersive, and it really is. It does get kind of front heavy at times with just your front speakers, but the score of the film, which is very cool and almost like tribal, does come out through your surrounds, and it is a lot more engaging that way, I always feel like. And the action, when the action does kick in, your bass starts kicking, and this is a very good effort for a DTS HD track that really came from a source that never was meant for a 5.1 track. And for that, I'm going to have to give the audio here I'll have to give it a 6 also, just because of that Japanese subtitle, like English subtitle problem. Unfortunately, that weighs it down a little bit, but what are you going to do? So next, I'm going to get into the special features on this, because I am sure that you will want to watch a ton of special features on this so you can learn a lot more of what the creator originally envisioned for this. Well, people, I kind of led you on there because there are no special features on this disc. Why are not there any special features on this disc? Why? I want an audio commentary for this. This would kill with an audio commentary, and there is absolutely zippola here. Nothing. Not even a bullshit featurette. Nothing. And for that, I'm going to have to give the special features here a 0. It kills me, but I had to do it because there just isn't anything here, and I desperately wanted something to just flesh out what I had been experiencing and see if the creator agreed with me, but it's not here. So, next I'll get into my final thoughts, and we will definitely see if you guys agree with me when I give you my final rating for Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is one of the most philosophical movies that you could ever watch. And it will make you think about things at such a rapid pace that you will not know what to do with yourself the first time that you ever experience this. And really, I mean, some people say, oh, that was just a product of its time. If you watch it today, you won't get the same experience that people got in 1995. No, that is clearly not true, just from what I have experienced here. I love this movie. It is not a 10 for me, but this is a solid 9 that I thought about giving a 10. But still, this is a great experience. The character of Major is so complex, and her relationship with Bato and with the puppeteer towards the later half of the movie, I don't want to give it away for anybody, but it gets real deep. And that is really cool. Really cool, because it didn't have to go there. And it did. And I love it for it. Unfortunately, any package that you can pick up for this movie is kind of lacking. The biggest reason is because of the lack of special features. There aren't any special features in any discs that you could pick up as far as on Blu-ray. And the video and audio quality, I just have small issues with it that kind of weigh it down. The video, it's a little soft, and they tried some digital remastering that didn't quite line up with other scenes in the movie. And with the audio, I want to watch this in Japanese with English subtitles, but I want it in 5.1, and they don't give it to you here. they only do the English version in 5.1, and I have to ding it for that. And because of all of that, as a total package for the Mondo version of Ghost in the Shell, I will have to give it a 21 out of 40. The special features hurt this one the most, guys. But next week, we will talk about the Scarlett Johansson version of Ghost in the Shell. I was able to get my hands on a Blu-ray copy and a 4K Blu-ray copy. I wasn't able to get my hands on the 3D, so we're going to have to leave that one out. But that video will be coming to you guys pretty damn soon, almost directly after this one. We will see if the live-action version truly lives up to this anime, because I doubt it, guys. But I will give it a fair shot. Thank you for watching me this early on in my YouTube days, and I love you guys. I love anybody that's watching this, and I will see you next time.